We're being joined by Pius Ahamba. He is one who follows the league, a sport journalist from Nigeria, and he will help us analyze the key talking points from the NPFL weekend action. Thank you so much, Pius, for joining me on the show today. You're welcome to Win the Game. All right, Pius, I'm hoping that you can unmute your mic so we can have this conversation, Pius, are you there? Please acknowledge.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can right now better. Thank you so much for joining us on In the Game. Yeah. Pius, it was an interesting weekend for sure in the Nigeria Premier Football League, and I would say the battle at the top and the battle below is hotling up. It's really becoming a survival of the fittest. But let me begin with Heartland. Heartland of Ore and also Bayelsa United, they are just 2 points above the relegation zone. If I can see that bottom six right now to spell out how it is. The relegation zone, teams are looking to just come out of the relegation zone. That you can see. So there are 2 points, Heartland and Bayelsa. Remember that Heartland has been coached by Emmanuel Amuneke. And right now, they are in a very dire situation. Pius, how damaging was their failure to secure maximum point at home?
Quite shocking, honestly, quite shocking. In fact, the fact that they went down first, they conceded the first goal, was what was even more shocking for me. I thought at this point in time, Heartland should be, should not be in the relegation conversation. I think they should have been out of this conversation, knowing fully well that during the mid-season, when the transfer window opened, they signed a couple of players, a lot of players, I must say. And I thought probably that was even an avenue for them to, beef up the squad and take themselves out of relegation. But there are still 2 points of relegation, like you already mentioned. And of course, they're in that situation with Akwa United, who also got a point also. So I think the relegation battle will be very, 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 very fierce. I feel so sorry for teams like Lobby Stars because they are bottom of the league at this point in time. I don't think they are going to escape relegation. Knowing fully well that they also themselves have not been doing so well. In fact, the last time Lobby Stars won a game was on the 14th of December 2024. That was the last time they won a game. After that game, they played 11 games without a win. It's been draws and losses for Lobby Stars. So I think their case is almost done and dusted. They probably will be playing in the NNL next season. But for teams like Akwa United, teams like Heartland, Bayelsa United, these guys still have a fighting chance. They can still, get something out of this. And of course, if they're able to gather maximum points in their next games, it might be something that will go a long way in helping them fight relegation. Okay. The next few games will be very important for these teams. And I say that because some of these teams already know that they can't afford to go down. It seems like Heartland cannot afford to go down. Remember where Heartland came from. Their previous manager, who is late at this point in time, we all understand all the circumstances around Heartland United, Heartland FC, and then it is the governor of the state who himself appointed Emmanuel Amuneke. So he dare not take this team down the relegation. So he himself knows this because I recall when he was unveiled as the manager of Heartland, the governor himself said that he wants Emmanuel Amuneke to take Heartland to the continent. These are not my words; these are the words of Governor Hope Uzodinma, who said that he wants Amuneke to take Heartland back to the continent. I don't think the continent is the NNL. So they should be doing everything possible to take themselves out of that particular zone.
Well, it seems what he's doing right now is not helping the situation. All right, we have Jidechi Chidieze back with us. So welcome back, Jidechi. We're talking the Nigeria Premier Football League with Pius Ahamba. And I do not know what state to represent from the East, but I would say Rangers International. They are the defending champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League, and they're struggling to break down Akwa United. Come on. These guys, they dominated possession, but could not hold Akwa United, who are sitting in the relegation zone, just second from behind in the current standing of the Nigeria Premier Football League. Jidechi, is this a sign of deeper issues affecting their title defense? Talking about Rangers International.
There's one thing I've been hoping to see for quite a while. in the Nigerian Premier Football League that is a defending champion that would actually go all the way to defend their title. Somehow Rangers are definitely not going to pull that off again this season. I don't think Rangers are personally having issues. I don't know where the issue is from. I think it's more a tactical thing. The house seems fine. The management do not seem to be having any issues from the very top, from the government to the club management. Doesn't seem like there are any issues that we would have usually say this is the reason why. So I think it's more a tactical thing. Eventually, I think Fidelis Ilechiko, I mean, he's an astute manager. I think he's someone that would figure this out. But this season, I think he can as well bid it goodbye. Maybe consider trying to qualify for the Champions League or the CAF Confederation Cup. But it's one of those seasons that you would have hoped that the defending champion, funny enough, Akwa United, who they like you said, did struggle against, are also former champions of this league, won the league about less than 5 years ago, and here they are battling relegation. It's actually sad to see how things have gone this bad for many of these teams. I'm hoping, very much hoping, that eventually, if Remo Stars go all the way to win the league this season, they wouldn't be having similar issues. Because what we've seen, even Enyimba would go top of the league, and somehow the next season they are nowhere to be found. It's one thing that's pretty much been synonymous with the Nigerian league since about 10 years ago when Kano Pillars successfully defended their league title back-to-back. It's actually unfortunate. These are things you see with the more bigger clubs in Europe and the more bigger leagues. And you want to see it repeat itself with the Nigerian Premier Football League. But somehow, I think it's something we are beginning to synergize ourselves with. The fact that the league champion never gets to win the league title the next season.
That's what we've always seen in the Nigeria Premier Football League. When you become a champion this season, you do not even get your fingers scratching the title for the next season. Pius, is just 10 games left for the season. What team do you think are more at the risk of relegation if we look at the bottom six?
Honestly, because of the form of Lobby Stars, I think Lobby Stars will get relegated. That's just me saying. Because, like I mentioned earlier, they've not won in their last 11 games, not one win. They've also had to change manager. They brought in the manager from Finland. At some point, Daniel Amokachi was also in charge. You know, since I mean, they've not actually gotten it right. The same can also be said of Sunshine Stars. Sunshine Stars also, they've also had to change managers, and they also have not also gotten it. So I think those two teams are sure candidates for relegation. So for me, Lobby Stars and Heartland. And then one other team I think might eventually join them, unfortunately, has to be Akwa United. Akwa United, because they themselves have not been, they just let their manager leave a couple of months ago, talking about Baba Ganaru. Baba Ganaru had to leave. Baba Ganaru, at some point, was doing well. In fact, the last time I spoke with him before he left the club, he was talking to me about next season and not this season, because he was already seeing himself escape relegation, of course, taking the team. But things just didn't go well enough. I think Akwa United might just have to join this team. So for me, Lobby Stars, Sunshine Stars, and Akwa United. All
right, you've just picked three. But let's talk about, let me ask Judechi for those in the top six. Judechi, who do you think have the best chances of making a late push? I'm not talking about those who have sealed their slot already into continental football, but who do you think would make a late push for continental football?
I mean, I think it's only one team that sealed their places in the continent already. I think it's only one team as it stands, that's Remo Stars. I do think Rivers United are definitely going to push all the way to the end of the season. They can already tell, Finidi George can already tell he most likely is not getting the league title. So I'm very sure he do not want to lose out on every end. But I think two teams I can't particularly place as who would finish with the third slot would be Shooting Stars and Rangers. Somehow I feel Rangers are going to push all the way to at least
you're ruling out
back to the continent
City
next.
Are you ruling out
Ikorodu City?
Yes,
I'm absolutely ruling out Ikorodu City.
Just hold your thought.
Absolutely fantastic.
Hold your thought. Pius, Judechi has just ruled out Ikorodu City in this conversation, saying they might not maintain that third place. What do you think, Pius?
Honestly, if you take a look at the form of Ikorodu City, you would not want to rule them out. I honestly wouldn't rule out Ikorodu City. Yes, we call them the baby of the league, but you cannot rule out what they've done. I think Ikorodu City are trying to mirror what MFMFC did many years ago when they also finished second behind Plateau United. Remember that season we also didn't take MFMFC serious. They were with Fidel Silechuku, and they started grinding right there at the Agege Township Stadium. That was where they were playing their home games, and then they took us by surprise. At the end of the day, they finished behind Plateau United by, I think...
So there is a likelihood that they will take us by surprise, Jidechi. There is a likelihood here.
Say that again?
I said there is a likelihood that they take us by surprise, Jidechi. I'm talking to JT right now. We'll just rule them out.
Okay.
You mean Ikorodu City?
Of course.
Everything is possible. Everything is possible. But in a game of predictions, you have to throw away perhaps sentiment, everything you might want to use to stand behind a couple of teams. Yes, Ikorodu City, they are doing absolutely well. Yes, there's the story of MFM. But I think things get dirtier when it gets to this later end of the season. And one more thing I think I need to add is the fact that for Ikorodu City, it's a first time. Yes, a first time you have everything you want to prove, but you are dealing with a Rangers that are defending champions of this league, and definitely they know what it is like to be at this stage of the season and want to maintain their place in the continent. You're also dealing with a Shooting Stars who very narrowly missed out on playing on the continent last season with Ogumbote. And I mean, this is a Shooting Stars that have not played on the continent in how many years has it been since Shooting Stars qualified for a continental competition? So these are the two teams. These are the teams that fact in that you consider. Even Kano Pillars, funny enough, Kano Pillars, although I legitimately do not think that Kano Pillars would make it to the continent, but these are the teams you are dealing with, and everything can happen, yes, but do I think they would be finishing with a continental ticket? I absolutely do not see it happening.
All right, you do not see it for Ikorodu City, but Pius has this conviction that maybe they might likely get that slot there. Thank you so much, Pius.
Yeah, I think so. I think they might likely get the slot. What I like about the team is that they know how to score goals. They are, in fact, they scored
they're highest goal scoring side.
Goals they scored already.
Yes.
I mean, just 3 behind the league leaders and one star. So I think if they continue this way, they want two games back to back against Heartland home, against Lobby Stars away from home. So if you can get 3 points away from home, just get the maximum points and then forget about those who are chasing you. I mean, there are 2 points above the other teams who are chasing them. So I think if they continue this way, they might probably just get that continental spot, which would be a very big story for a small team like Ikorodu City.
Yes, small team. You just call them small team. After you believe in them. It's all good. But what do we expect? What do we expect from someone who is donning a Remo Stars jersey? Jidechi, don't worry. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much, Pius Ahamba, for joining us in the conversation. And we believe that you can pat Ikorodu City at the back and then stab them. It's all good. Thank you so much for your thoughts. We appreciate your time.